Percy, some of the chains multiply so fast because all the locations are magically linked to a life force of a monster. Some children of Hermes figured out how to do it back in the 50s. They breed. She froze. What? I demanded. They breed what? No sudden moves, Annabeth said, like her life depending on it. Very slowly turn around. Then I heard it, a scraping noise, like something large dragging its belly through the leaves. I turned and saw a rhino-sized thing moving through the shadows of the trees. It was hissing, its front half writhing in all different directions. I couldn't understand what I was seeing at first. Then I realized the thing had multiple necks, at least 7, each topped with a hissing reptilian head. Its skin was leathery, and under each neck it wore a plastic bib that read, "I'm a monster donut kid." I took out my ballpoint pen, but Annabeth locked eyes with me, a silent warning, "Not yet." I understood. A lot of monsters have terrible eyesight. It was possible that the Hydra might pass us by, but if I uncapped my sword now, the bronze glow would certainly get its attention. We waited. The Hydra was only a few feet away. It seemed to be sniffing at the ground and trees around it, like hunting for something. Then I noticed 2 of the heads were ripping apart a piece of the yellow canvas. One of our duffel bags. The thing had already been to our campsite. It was following our scent. My heart pounded. I'd seen a stuffed Hydra head trophy at our camp before, but that did nothing to prepare me for the real thing. Each head was diamond-shaped like a rattlesnake's, but the mouths were full and lined with jagged rows of shark-like teeth. Tyson was trembling. He stepped back and accidentally snapped a twig. Immediately, all 7 heads turned towards us and hissed. "Scatter!" Annabeth yelled. She dove to the right. I rolled to the left. One of the Hydra heads spat an arc of acid, green and liquid, that shot past my shoulder and splashed against the elm. The trunk smoked and began to disintegrate. The whole tree toppled straight towards Tyson, who still hadn't moved, petrified by what the monster was looking at right now, right in front of him. "Tyson!" I tackled him with all my might, knocking him aside, just as the Hydra lunged and the tree crashed on top of 2 of its heads. The Hydra stumbled backward, yanking its heads free, and then wailing in outrage at the falling tree. All 7 heads shot acid, and the elm tree melted into a streaming pool of muck. "Move!" I told Tyson, and I ran to the one side and uncapped Riptide, hoping to draw the monster's attention. It worked. The sight of the celestial bronze, it's hateful to most monsters. As soon as my glowing blade appeared, the Hydra whipped towards it with all its heads, hissing and baring its teeth. The good news, Tyson was momentarily out of danger. The bad news, I was about to be melted into a puddle of goo. One of the heads snapped at me experimentally. Without thinking, I swung my sword. "No!" Annabeth yelled. Too late. I sliced the Hydra's head clean off. It rolled away into the grass, leaving a flailing stump, which immediately stopped bleeding and began to swell like a balloon. In a matter of seconds, the wounded neck split into 2 necks, each grew a full-size head. Now I was looking at an 8-headed Hydra. "Percy!" Annabeth scolded. "You just opened another monster donut shop somewhere." I dodged a spray of acid. "I'm about to die, and you're worried about that? How do we kill it?" "Fire!" Annabeth said. "We have to have fire." As soon as she said that, I remembered the story. The Hydra heads would only stop multiplying if we burned the stumps before they regrew. That's what Hercules had done anyway, but we had no fire. I backed up towards the river. The Hydra followed. Annabeth moved in on my left and tried to distract one of the heads, paring its teeth with her knife, but another head swung sideways like a club and knocked her into the muck. "No hitting my friends!" Tyson charged in, putting himself between the Hydra and Annabeth. As Annabeth got to her feet, Tyson started smashing at the monster heads with his fists, so fast that it reminded me of a whack-a-mole game at the arcade. But even Tyson couldn't fend off the Hydra forever. We kept inching backward, dodging acid splashes and deflecting snapping heads without cutting them off, but I knew we were only postponing our deaths. Eventually, we'd make a mistake and the thing would kill us. Then I heard a strange sound, a chug, 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 that at first I thought was my heartbeat, but it was so powerful it made the riverbank shake. "What's that noise?" Annabeth shouted, keeping her eyes on the Hydra. "Steam engine," Tyson said. "What?" I ducked as the Hydra spat acid over my head. Then, from the river behind us, a familiar female voice shouted, "There! Prepare the 32-pounder! I didn't dare look away from the Hydra. But if it was who I thought it was behind us, I figured now we had enemies on two fronts.